Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, we give peace and salutations unto the elect. And I wanted to address this comment on a lesson I did yesterday. And this is going to be brief. This is a comment from a guy by the name of Michael Amos. Now, in this lesson, I was discussing, the technology that's being implemented in the earth, as it pertains to the MOB, all right, the end game of the elite. And, sometimes we get some crazy comments, and brothers use it as a point to edify. And I wasn't going to do a response to this, but the spirit jumped on me because, Jake, man, some of the people, and that's what I always tell people, man, a lot, coming into the understanding that you're an Israelite, is a very beautiful thing, man. But I must admit that I have ran across the worst people, all right, ever, man. I mean, coming from, where I come from, I've seen some, pretty jacked up individuals, man. But, coming into this truth, it opens you up to some, even worse than what you ran across in the world, man. And this is crazy, man. Now, as pertaining to the MOB, you have certain people saying that the mark is money, the mark is this, the mark is everything but what we see happening as pertaining to prophecy. Now, when you deal with Revelation, the 13th chapter, we have to remember John, the Revelator, as he's on the Isle of Patmos, is, he's getting a vision, of, the beast system and how it rolls, how it's going to fall, what they're going to do. So he's seeing the future. He's seeing everything that we are seeing. He's seeing, the rise of Babylon the Great. He's seeing, the two political parties. He's seeing the revised Roman Empire. He's seeing the technology. He's seeing it. So how in the hell didn't he see this particular technology that we're witnessing take place on earth? He saw all of these things. He recorded all of it, but he didn't record the mark or this technology we see leading to it or their talks of it. Because when you deal with the MOB, it's just an idol that ultimately you're going to have to bow to as an oath to secure your oath into this satanic NWO that they're coming with, man. Okay, in ancient times, you would put a brand on you, all right? And that would show your alliance to this particular deity, a god. Well, now the brand is getting ready to be inside, okay? Just like, you have particular Jake who get into these Greek fraternities, right? And, they get a brand, what a lot of people don't know, which I plan on going into it in a lesson one day, but you actually take an oath to a god. A lot of people don't know that those Jakes, and I know, all right, you literally, when you go to the nationals, you're bowing to Greek gods, and Jake doesn't know, they just look at the hopping around and ooping around the parties and hopping up and down and getting the women or the women being, but ultimately that whole thing is an order, to get Jake to go off to make an alliance to a whole nother god. And that goes back to the Hellenization of Jake at First Maccabees. Well, you would get a brand or a mark on you to, show your alliance to that particular god. Well, this is what they're coming with. All right. Now, let me read this comment. It says, we have all taken the MOB. You can read it. Even the Most High took the mark. And you see you hear this shit, man? The Most High took the mark. Now, this could be an agent, Edomite playing Jake, who's scared and just wants to come put misinformation. But 9 times out of 10, this is Jake. Now, see, this is the type of guy, and hear me out. This is the type of guy, like, back in the day, we would be, MySpace, and you would meet these Israelite women, or you come across these Israelite women even now, and she'll be like, well, I used to learn from this one guy, and he tried to put me in, he had other wives, and I was okay with him. And then she ended up bugging out. Then you start to hear some of the stuff she thought about the scriptures. And you're like, where the hell you learn this bugged out? And it's this nigga. It's this guy. He done met up with her, took her out to eat, and taught her the way. So she's been learning from this nigga for 3 years. Then she bugs out, and then she finds a great millstone, okay, and or you run across her, and then you run into her, and there's so many demons on her. You be like, what the? It's this guy, T. It's niggas like this that be teaching these women, and you be looking in their eyes. You be like, something ain't right with this sister. She didn't learn from this nigga. You see, all sorts of weirdo doctrines, man. And she just going on along with it because a woman's gonna just follow what the man says. So she been listening to all of these bugged out Jakes over these years, meeting them on these, Hebrew Israelite dating sites or MySpace, which I don't even know if that's still popping. But that's, when I first came in, that's what was popping. So you would meet the Israelite women, and they all had a similar story. I learned from this one guy. It was always 2 to 3 years, and he introduced her to this lifestyle where he had other, wives, and her family was mad about it, and then it ended up collapsing. But these are the type of guys, man. And then the time passes, and they hear about GMS or one of the other camps, and then they come along, and then you end up dealing with one of those men, and then that ends up, but it's this guy. It's the guys like this teaching, because you'll see her, she'll have the fringes on. All right, she'll be talking about Yah, and her eyes be wide open, and that's when like, to run. When the Israelite woman, when they don't blink, they be talking, but they be looking, having that space that you got to run, man, because you getting ready to be that's one of them succubus demons. She gonna be weird because this guy. Well, this is just a part of it, because when you go back earlier in their lives, they have other trauma. So it's guys like this, man. But anyway, we all have taken the mark of the beast. Even the Most High took the mark. Economics, bro. The money to go to a store and try to buy without it. All right. Got something to sell, I come get it, but bro, I don't have any money. Are you willing to give it to me? Who currency rule the world? Let any nation try to bring another currency into play over the United States. And, to lay down, with Babylon the Great, and to, commit fornication, one of the major ways is to take on to that dollar, like these nations when they say commit fornication with her. Taking on to that dollar is one of the major ways you lie down with the whore. Now, if money was the mark of the beast, let's read the judgment of the mark of the beast. I just put these 2 scriptures, and I'm going to leave it alone. Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hands, or in his hand, this is what happens to you. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup, all right, into the cup of his indignation. Hold up. So if you take this, you through. This is the judgment if you take the mark. So if to say we all have the mark, we through. If money was the mark and this was the judgment of having money, we would be done, man. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive money in their right hand or in their foreheads, so that you can't buy and sell, save you have money. Bro, some of you dudes need to stretch, man. And a lot of you need to drink more water. You got to drink more water, bro. And you got to stop. And if you're listening and you don't really know, stop putting these weirdo comments. Now, if you're an agent and you're a bugged out Edomite somewhere trying to play Jake, trying to, scatter the flock, hey, man, y'all are through. Y'all are through, man. Which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. Revelation 15:2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass. This is when we're delivered, man. Mingled with fire, and them that had gotten victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, standing on a sea of glass, having the harps of God. So the elect are going to get victory over these things, man. All right, so when you start to have those doubts, well, damn, what if he forced it in us, or what if he this, or what if it's in the nanoparticles, or what if it's, if he put it in the, I eat a hamburger and he sneaked the chip, Well, it's written here that none of us, the elect, they have victory over the mark, okay, over the beast, which is the system, over his image, which is the ways of the system, okay, and his mark, which is going to, seal the deal, okay, because when you go to that word mark, and we always bring this out, and then I'll end it. When you go to this word mark, I bear the marks. It's in Galatians, the book of Galatians. Hold up. Galatians 6. Come on. Galatians 6. Goodness gracious, bro. Marks. Hold on. Where is it at? Bear marks. Galatians 6:17. Now, when you go to Revelation, the 13th chapter, when you read down there, it talks about the chi-psi stigma, which we broke it down before. The 666, the final stigma is that word for marks. Now, we're going to go to that, that word marks. It's stigma. Stigma, all right? It says a mark pricked or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental uses, slaves and soldiers bore the name or stamp of their master or commander, branded or prick cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to, and there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token to their God. So you see that stigma, right? Stigma. All right. When you go to Revelation, the 13th chapter, okay, you see that the mark is dealing with that. See that? Chi-psi stigma. So this is something that the slave is going to have to do to show who their God is. It's deeper than money, bro. Okay, and John the Revelator saw it. Okay, and now money is a big part of witchcraft. But money ain't the mark, man. Y'all dudes bugging, fam. Y'all gotta stop. All right, but this is the 666. We're here, man. We're at that point where they gotta make their move. So, Lord willing, y'all are edified, man. Shalom.